Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome back to the daily readings of Srila Prabhupada's books, right here in the live studios in Hythe, otherwise named Haven, the Haven. Today I had many long phone calls and meetings, and my voice isn't what it should be, but I could not read to you tonight. So here I am. Forgive me if my voice is a little strange, but it sounds like it's almost working. So let's see what will happen as we read Sri Caitanya-caritämrta. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was very fond of Sri Caitanya-caritämrta. To say the least, it was his life and soul. One day after he ended a lecture in Munjer in Bengal on the bank of the Ganga, there was an earth tremor, and the earth tremor caused the adjacent Ganga to come out a little bit and then go back. It was very mild. The water soon receded, after which Srila Saraswati Thakur said this: in due course, Mahäprabhu, devastating floods, will inundate the entire universe. If you attempt to survive by swimming in that deluge, then do not neglect to take hold of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Sri Caitanya-caritämrta. Or, if you cannot hold all three, then release Bhagavad Gita. If necessary, you may also relinquish Srimad Bhagavatam, but under no circumstances may you release your hold on Sri Caitanya-caritämrta. For if this one book remains, then the flood can do no actual damage, because after the flood has subsided, the message of Shastra can be revived from Sri Caitanya-caritämrta alone, it being the essence of all Shastra. Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya, Jaya Nityananda,
Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda,
Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaur Bhaktavinda, Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaur Bhaktavinda, Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaur Bhaktavinda. Okay, here we are, chapter 20, Madhya-lila, Sri Caitanya-caritämrta. We're beginning with text 274. Sri Chaitanya Mahäprabhu himself is explaining the process of creation of this material world to Sanätana Gosvämi. Text 274. At a time beyond memory, after agitating the material nature into three qualities, the Supreme Personality of Godhead placed the semen of innumerable living entities within the womb of that material nature. Thus, material nature gave birth to the total material energy, known as the Hiranmaya Mahat Tattva, the original symbol representation of the cosmic manifestation. Purport. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 3:26-19. Lord Kapila is explaining to his mother the relationship between the Supreme Personality of Godhead and material nature. He is informing her how the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the original cause of the living entities who were conditioned by material nature. Over and above the 24 elements of the material creation is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes. Life comes not from matter, but from life itself. As explained in the Vedas, Nityo Nityanam Chaitanash Chaitananam, Katha Upanishad 2:13. The Supreme Lord is the original source of life. Text 275. In due course of time, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Mahavaikuntanath, by the agency of an expansion of his personal self, Mahavishnu, placed the seed of the living entities within the womb of material nature. Purport. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 3.5.26. This verse tells how the living entities come in contact with material nature. Just as a woman cannot beget children without uniting with a man, material nature cannot beget living entities without being in union with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is a history of how the Absolute Lord becomes the Father of all living entities. In every system of religion, it is accepted that God is the Supreme Father of all living entities. According to Christianity, the Supreme Father, God, the living entities, the Supreme Father, God, provides the living entities with all of life's necessities. Therefore they pray, "Give us this day our daily bread." Any religion that does not accept the Supreme Lord as the Absolute Father is called Kaitava Dharma, or a cheating religion. Such religious systems are rejected in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.2, Dharma Prochita Kaitavotra. Only an atheist does not accept the omnipotent Supreme Father. If one accepts the omnipotent Supreme Father, he abides by his orders and becomes a religious person. 276. First, the total material energy is manifested, and from this arise the three types of egotism, which are the original sources from which all demigods, controlling deities, senses, and material elements expand. Purport. The three types of egotism, ahankara, are technically known as Vaikarika, Taijasa, and Tamasa. The Mahatattva is situated within the heart, or Chitta, and the predominating deity of the Mahatattva is Lord Vasudeva. Bhagavatam 3.26.21. The Mahatattva is transformed into three divisions. 1. Vaikarika, egotism in goodness, Sattvika, ahankara, from which is manifested the 11th sense organ, the mind. Let me read this again. I'm sorry my voice is not quite working properly. Excuse me for a second. The Mahatattva is transformed into three divisions. 1. Vaikarika, egotism in goodness, Sattvika, ahankara, from which is manifested the 11th sense organ, the mind, whose predominating deity is Aniruddha. This is Bhagavatam 3.26, 27, and 28. 2. Taijasa, or egotism in passion, Rajasa, ahankara, from which are manifested the active and knowledge-acquiring senses, along with the intelligence, whose predominating deity is Lord Pradyumna. This is Bhagavatam 3.26, 29 through 31. And 3. Tamasa, or egotism in ignorance, from which sound vibration, Shabda Tanmatra, expands. From sound vibration, the sky, Akash, is manifested. And then the senses, beginning from the sense of hearing, are also manifested. This is Bhagavatam 3:26-32. Of these three types of egotism, Lord Sankarshan is the predominating deity. In the philosophical discourse known as the Sankhya-caritämrta, it is stated, Sattvika ekadashaka pravartante vaikritad ahankarat putadesh tan matram tamasam taijasad judayam. 277. Combining all the different elements, the Supreme Lord created all the universes. Those universes are unlimited in number. There is no possibility of counting them. 278. The first form of Lord Vishnu is called Mahavishnu. He is the original creator of the total material energy. The innumerable universes emanate from the pores of his body. 279 to 80. These universes are understood to be floating in the air that Mahavishnu exhales. They are like atomic particles that float in sunshine and pass through the holes of a screen. All these universes are thus created by the exhalation of Mahavishnu, and when Mahavishnu inhales, they re-enter his body. The unlimited opulences of Mahavishnu are completely beyond material conception. 281. The Brahmas and other lords of the mundane worlds appear from the pores of Mahavishnu and remain alive for the duration of his one exhalation. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, of whom Mahavishnu is a portion of a plenary portion. Purport. This is a quotation from the Brahma Samhita 548. For an explanation, refer to Madhya-lila, chapter 5, verse 71. Text 282. Mahavishnu is the supersoul of all the universes. Lying on the causal ocean, he is the master of all material worlds. 283. I have thus explained the truth of the first personality of Godhead, Mahavishnu. I shall now explain the glories of the second personality of Godhead. (284) After creating the total number of universes, which are unlimited, Mahavishnu expanded himself into unlimited forms and entered into each of them. 285. When Mahavishnu entered each of the limitless universes, he saw that there was darkness all around and that there was no place to stay. He therefore began to consider the situation. 276. With the perspiration produced from his own body, the Lord filled half the universe with water. He then lay down on that water on the bed of Lord Shesha. 287. A lotus flower then sprouted from the lotus navel of that Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. That lotus flower became Lord Brahma's birthplace. 288. In the stem of that lotus flower, the 14 worlds were generated. Then he became Lord Brahma and manifested the entire universe. Text 289. In this way, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in his form of Vishnu, maintains the entire material world. He is always beyond the material qualities. The material nature cannot touch him. Purport. The influence of the material energy cannot touch Lord Vishnu as she touches Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. Therefore it is said that Lord Vishnu is transcendental to the material qualities. The incarnations of the material qualities, Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, are under the jurisdiction of the external energy. Lord Vishnu, however, is different. In the mantras of the Rig Veda, it is said, Om Tat Vishnu Padamam Padam. Rig Veda Samhita 122:20. The words Padamam Padam indicate that he is transcendental to the material qualities. Because Lord Vishnu is not within the jurisdiction of the material qualities, he is always superior to the living entities who are controlled by the material energy. This is one of the differences between the Supreme Lord and the living entities. Lord Brahma is a very powerful living entity, and Lord Shiva is even more powerful. Therefore, Lord Shiva is not accepted as a living entity. But at the same time, he is not considered to be on the level of Lord Vishnu. Text 290. The Supreme Lord in his form of Rudra, Lord Shiva, brings about the dissolution of this material creation. In other words, only by his will are there creation, maintenance, and dissolution of the whole cosmic manifestation. Text 291. Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva are his three incarnations of the material qualities. Creation, maintenance, and destruction, respectively, are under the charge of these three personalities. Text 292. Garbhodakashai Vishnu, known within the universe as Hiranyagarbha, and the Antaryami, or Super Soul, is glorified in the Vedic hymns, beginning with the hymn that starts with the word Sahasra Shirsha. 293. This second personality of Godhead, known as Garbhodakashai Vishnu, is the master of each and every universe and the shelter of the external energy. Nonetheless, he remains beyond the touch of the external energy. 294. The third expansion of Vishnu is Chirodakashai Vishnu, who is the incarnation of the quality of goodness. He is to be counted within both types of incarnations, Purusha avatars and Guna avatars. 295. Chirodakashai Vishnu is the original form of the Lord and is the super soul within every living entity. He is known as Chirodakashai because he is the Lord who lies on the ocean of milk. He is the maintainer and master of the universe. 296. O Sanätana, I have definitively described the three Purusha avatars of Vishnu. Now please hear from me about the pastime incarnations. 297. No one can count the innumerable pastime incarnations of Lord Krishna, but I shall describe the principal ones. 298. Some of the pastime incarnations are the fish incarnation, the tortoise incarnation, Lord Ramachandra, Lord Nrisingha, Lord Vamana, and Lord Varaha. There is no end to them. 299. O Lord of the universe, best of the Yadu dynasty, we are offering our prayers unto you, mainly to diminish the heavy burden of the universe. Indeed, you diminished this burden formerly by incarnating in the form of a fish, a horse, Hayagriva, a tortoise, a lion, Lord Nishinga, a boar, Lord Varaha, and a swan. You also incarnated as Lord Ramachandra, Parashuram, and Vamana the dwarf. You have always protected us demigods and the universe in this way. Now, please, continue. Purport. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.2, 40. I have given a few examples of pastime incarnations. Now I will describe the guna avatars, the incarnations of the material qualities. Please listen. 301. There are three functions within this material world. Everything here is created, everything is maintained for some time, and everything is finally dissolved. The Lord therefore incarnates himself as the controllers of the three qualities, sattvagun, rajagun, and tamagun, goodness, passion, and ignorance. Thus the transactions of the material world take place. 302. Because of his past activities, excuse me. Because of his past pious activities, mixed with devotional service, the first-class living entity is influenced by the motive passion within his mind. Text 303. Such a devotee is empowered by Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. In this way, an incarnation of Krishna in the form of Brahma engineers the total creation of the universe. Purport. The Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, Purusha Avatara, expansion of Lord Vishnu, accepts the material modes, Sattvagun, Rajagun, and Tamagun, and thus incarnates as Lord Vishnu, Brahma, and Shiva. These are incarnations of the material qualities among many superior living entities qualified with pious activities and devotional service. One, called Lord Brahma, is infused with the quality of passion by the supreme will of Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. Thus Lord Brahma becomes the incarnation of the creative energy of the Lord. Text 304. The sun manifests his brilliance in a gem, although it is stone. Similarly, the original personality of Godhead, Govinda, manifests his spiritual power in a pious living entity. Thus the living entity becomes Brahma and manages the affairs of the universe. Let me worship Govinda, the original personality of Godhead. Purport. This is a quotation from the Brahma Samhita 549. 305. If in a if in a kalpa a suitable living entity is not available to take charge of Brahma's post, the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself personally expands and becomes Lord Brahma. Purport. One day of Brahma consists of the 4 yugas multiplied 1,000 times, or according to solar calculations, 4,320,000,000 years. and such also is the duration of his night. 1 year of Brahma's life consists of 360 such days and nights, and Brahma lives for 100 such years. Such is the life of a Brahma. That multiplies out, in case you don't have a slide rule on you, or a special computer, to 311 trillion, 80 billion years of our time. Text 306. What is the value of a throne to Lord Krishna? The masters of the various planetary systems accept the dust of his lotus feet on their crowned heads. That dust makes the holy places sacred. And even Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lakshmi, and I myself, who are all portions of his plenary portion, eternally carry that dust on our heads. Purport. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam, 1068-37. When the Kauravas flattered Baladev so that he would become their ally and spoke ill of Sri Krishna, Lord Baladev became angry and spoke this verse. 307. Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, expands a portion of his plenary portion and, accepting the association of the material mode of ignorance, assumes the form of Rudra to dissolve the cosmic manifestation. Purport. This is a description of the Rudra form, which is another expansion of Krishna. Only Vishnu Murtis are expansions of Krishna's personal and plenary portions. Mahavishnu, who lies on the causal ocean, is an expansion of Sankrachan. When Garbhodakashai Vishnu accepts the material modes of nature for the purpose of dissolving the cosmic manifestation, his form is called Rudra. As already explained, Lord Vishnu is the controller of Maya. How then can he associate with Maya? The conclusion is that the incarnation of Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma indicates the absence of the supreme power of Vishnu. When the supreme power is not there, it is possible to associate with Maya, the external energy. Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva are to be considered creations of Maya. Text 308. Rudra, Lord Shiva, has various forms, which are transformations brought about by association with Maya. Although Rudra is not on a level with the Jiva Tattvas, he still cannot be considered a personal expansion of Lord Krishna. Purport. Rudra is simultaneously one with and different from the Vishnu Tattva. Due to his association with Maya, he is different from the Vishnu Tattva, but at the same time, he is an expansion of Krishna's personal form. This situation is called Bheda Tattva, or Achintya Bheda Tattva, simultaneous oneness and difference. Text 309. Milk is transformed into yogurt when it is associated with a yogurt culture. Thus, yogurt is nothing but milk. But still, it is not milk. Purport. Of the three deities supervising the creation, maintenance, and dissolution of the universe, Lord Vishnu is never separate from the original Vishnu. However, Lord Shiva and Brahma, due to their association with Maya, are different from Vishnu. Vishnu cannot be transformed into any form of material energy. Whenever there is association with Maya, the personality involved must be different from Lord Vishnu. Therefore, Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma are called guna avatars, for they associate with the material qualities. The conclusion is that Rudra is not exactly Lord Vishnu, but rather a transformation of Vishnu. Therefore, he does not come within the category of the Vishnu Tattvas. Thus, he is inconceivably one with Lord Vishnu and different from him. The example given in this verse is very clear. Milk is compared to Vishnu. As soon as milk touches a sour substance, it becomes yogurt, or Lord Shiva. Although yogurt is constitutionally milk, it cannot be used in place of milk. 310. Chidam yata dadi vikara vishesha yogat sanjayate natutatak pritagasti hetaho yak sambhutam apitata samupaiti karayad govindamari purusham tamaham bhajami. Milk changes into yogurt when mixed with the yogurt culture, but actually it is constitutionally nothing but milk. Similarly, Govinda, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, assumes the form of Lord Shiva, Shambhu, for the special purpose of material transactions. I offer my obeisances at his lotus feet. This is a quotation from the Brahma Samhita, 545. 311. Lord Shiva is an associate of the external energy. Therefore, he is absorbed in the material quality of darkness. Lord Vishnu is transcendental to Maya and the qualities of Maya. Therefore, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport. Vishnu is beyond the range of the material manifestation, and he is not within the control of the material energy. He is the Supreme Independent Personality of Godhead. This is admitted even by Shankara-acharya. Narayana Padovyakthat, Gita Bhashya. In his constitutional form, Shiva is a Maha-bhagavata, a supreme devotee of the Lord. But because he accepts Maya's association, especially the quality of ignorance, he is not free from Maya's influence. Such an intimate association is completely absent in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. Lord Shiva accepts Maya, but in the presence of Lord Vishnu, Maya does not exist. Consequently, Lord Shiva has to be considered a product of Maya. When Lord Shiva is free from Maya's influence, he is in the position of a Mahabhagavata, a supreme devotee of Lord Vishnu, Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. Whoa. So I'm going to stop with your permission. I'm going to stop. Now I'm struggling quite a bit with my voice, and I need to rest it. So, Hare Krishna. Is there any reflections, discussions, comments?
There's something from Dobai Attila.
Attila. Bhakta Attila.
He says, Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Jai Bhakta Attila.
What is the Supreme Lord's goal with so many avatars? If I would like to pray for Lord, and mostly I pray to Krishna most of the time and not to Govinda, or even if I pray to Krishna, I also pray to all of Krishna's manifestations. Those avatars teach us, and every of the avatars has a different goal. Krishna sent them because we need to study something, and time to time the devotees need a newer and newer lesson.
Well, the the incarnations or the expansions of Krishna, they appear for a specific mission. Like Lord Nrsingadev, he appeared specifically to protect his pure devotee, Prahlad, who was only 5 years old and was threatened to be killed by his father, Hiranyakashipu, who happened to be the most powerful demon and the most powerful living entity in the universe at the time. And only Lord Vishnu could kill him. So he appeared specifically to protect Prahlad Maharaj and to kill Hiranyakashipu, because no one else could do it, according to a boon that he had received from Lord Brahma as a result of his very severe austerities. You know, Lord Matsya came to specifically to save the Vedas. You know, in a temporary or interim disillusion, he saved the Vedas. And because Satyavrata, his great devotee, he came to associate with him and give him association. So Lord Vishnu appears in different forms according to the desires of his devotees. He's like he doesn't have to have, you know, a purpose, a goal. He's not a materialist who calculates what he does in order to be able to accomplish something or to get something, some profit, or something, to do something good for himself. He's like a little child who just plays. He plays and he does whatever he wants during the day. Of course, he's under protection of his parents, but still, little children, they play, and that's what they do before he goes to school. From the time he can walk until the time he has to go to school, between 2 and 5, he just plays. And the parents enjoy. So the pastimes of Krishna are like that, all of them. But of all the pastimes, the pastime of Lord Krishna is the most variegated. It has the most variety. It has the most variety of tastes. It has the deepest and most spontaneous exchanges of love with his devotees. So which form we worship or pray to, and what we pray for, depends on our level of spiritual advancement. But Lord Chaitanya, when he appeared, his mission was to deliver all the fallen souls, even and especially the most fallen. So we, as appearing within this universe just 500 years on this earth planet, just 500 years after Lord Chaitanya, Srila Prabhupada was only 10 personalities removed from Chaitanya Mahäprabhu. There were many more personalities, but in terms of generation, he's the 10th generation. So therefore, we're in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement, and we're connected to him directly, only 11 persons removed, and receiving the holy name and the instructions and all these things. And therefore we worship Lord Chaitanya, because his incarnation is to give pure Krishna prema. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna prema pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya namne Kora Tvije Namaha. He's the most magnanimous form of the Lord, because he's coming to give what no other incarnation has ever given before, and that's pure unadulterated love for Krishna, up to the conjugal rasa. So in all the other expansions, they don't give pure love for themselves as easily. Lord Krishna can, and he does, but not to everyone. But Lord Chaitanya came to give to everyone. So the best thing for you to do, because according to our Shastra, especially according to this Caitanya-caritämrta, we can't achieve love for Krishna, attachment for Krishna, without the mercy or contact of Lord Chaitanya. So we should worship Lord Chaitanya, and we should pray for pure love of Krishna. And in that way we should hear the Bhagavad Gita, instructions of Bhagavad Gita, directly from Krishna. The Bhagavatam, which is mainly Krishna's pure devotees, glorifying him and his incarnations as pure devotees. And ultimately, the Caitanya-caritämrta, which we're reading now, cover to cover. And all the pieces of that puzzle are put together in the Caitanya-caritämrta, A to Z, as they say in England. Their map book is called A to Z. Hare Krishna.
Atila says, thank you so much, Maharaj. It is more clear now. And something from Noel.
Yes, Bhakti Noel
Says, Dear Maharaj, I appreciated the analogy of milk and yogurt very much. I feel we all walk a thin line of Maya's influence, and we must be strict and sincere with our devotional service to stay on the spiritual course.
Yes, Srila Prabhupada gave, and the Vedas give us two examples. One is that spiritual life is like a razor's edge. If you're careful, and then when you shave, you don't get nicked, you don't get cut. And the other, I had another in my mind. There was a second example, and it went out of my mind. Anyway, that's the example. You have to be very, very careful. Oh yes, the second one is that Krishna and Maya are always here, always, but they're like the line of a shade. You know, and when you go into the shade, there's a line. When you're in that shade, you go over that line, and you're in the shade. You go out of the shade. You're in the sunshine. So yes, absolutely, we have to be very, very careful not to fall into Maya again. We should have a healthy fear. Okay. So Hare Krishna, that's my explanation of how careful we have to be. Hare Krishna. And now we just had a break in the reception, and sometimes, not often, but sometimes on Sunday, we have this problem. So I'm going to cut it off today because I need to stop anyway because my voice is pretty much finished. And again, thank you all for your lovely questions. These descriptions of the creation of the universe and the functions of the guna avatars and all these things are extremely important to learn and to be able to explain, because if you do that, then you become free from the influence of Maya. So while you're still under the influence of Maya, you should study this section. You know, in Bhagavad Gita, there's many verses that describe it. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, the teachings of Kapila Dev, in the 3rd canto, explains it in depth. And here in Caitanya-caritämrta also, there's very nice explanations. So we should study these, and become knowledgeable about the relationship between the material energy and ourselves and Krishna and how they interrelate. And this will help us become free from the influence of the modes of material nature and become eligible to perform pure devotional service without any tinge of the material energy. Trigunya Vishaya Veda, Nishtrigunya Vavarjana. Okay, I thank you so much. Sri Caitanya-caritämrta ki jai. Sama Beda Bhaktavinda ki jai. Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bo. We'll see you tomorrow night. Same place, same station, same subject. Hopefully with a recovered voice. Hare Krishna.